Which states shifted the most on a presidential level between 2004 and 2008? Today on Political Access, we're going to take a look at these two political shifts. I've been going through the last 6 presidential elections, last 20 years or so, trying to look at different shifts. I've done most of the main ones, so now I'm trying to look at 2 consecutive elections, and this time we're going to look at '04 to '08. There's nothing overly special about these 2 years, but I think it would be fun to see what happened after George Bush's second term and leading up to Barack Obama in 2008. How big were the shifts? We know Barack Obama did well. People were tired of Bush and the Republicans. A lot of shifts toward the left, but how big were they? Let's see what they are. So I made my own spreadsheet. Over here on the left, we have the list of states. The next column is the Democratic vote in 2004, followed by the Republican vote in 2004. Next is the Democratic vote in 2008, followed by the Republican vote in 2008. The Democratic shifts are the next column, then the Republican shifts, and finally the last column is the net change between the two parties in each of these states. And I also have some shading here. The lightest colors are under 5-point shifts. The darkest colors, those are 10 or more point shifts. We're going to see a lot of those, and it's not going to be pretty for the Republicans. But this is what happens sometimes between 2 elections. And yes, sometimes there's third-party candidates in some of these states that affect the vote. And I'm not going to do a history of each of these elections here. I already mentioned the general gist is people were tired of the George Bush direction, and they wanted to make a change. Obama came in. There were high hopes for him. And a lot of states took a chance on him. They lurched hard to the left. So let's get started here in Alabama. In 2004, the Democratic vote, which was John Kerry, he got 36.8% of the vote. The Republican vote, George W. Bush got 62.5%. Jump ahead to 2008. The Democratic vote, Barack Obama, went up slightly to 38.7%. The Republican vote, which was John McCain, it ticked down a bit to 60.3%. That's a net gain of 1.9 for the Democrats, a net loss of 2.2 for the Republicans, and is a total net change of 4.1 toward the Democrats. So we can move a little bit quickly now through the rest of these states. Alaska, that also shifted 4.1% toward the Democrats. Arizona, that went a mild 2% toward the Democrats. Arkansas, this is actually the biggest shift toward the Republicans, and it was in double digits, 10.1% away from the Democrats and toward the Republicans. Arkansas really defied the national trend in 2008. Next in California, that went 14.1 toward the Democrats. Similarly, Colorado went 13.7 toward the Democrats. Connecticut, another double-digit shift, 12.1 toward the left. Delaware, a little bit bigger shift there, 17.4 away from the Republicans. Florida, that went a little bit less, but still 7.8 toward the Democrats. In Georgia, that got 11.4% more friendly toward the Democrats. Hawaii, that had a massive shift away from the Republicans. Barack Obama, he was born there. In 2004, Bush lost it by under 10 points, but 4 years later, it lurched an extreme 36.6% toward the Democrats. Idaho went 12.8 toward the Democrats. Illinois, 14.8. Indiana, Barack Obama was able to squeak out a win there in 2008. That shifted over 20 points, 21.7 toward the Democrats. Iowa, another double-digit shift, 10.2 toward the Democrats. Even Kansas, 10.5 toward the Democrats. Kentucky, much smaller shift there, 3.3 toward the Democrats. Louisiana, they defied the trends. They went 4.3 toward the Republicans. Next in Maine, that went 8.3 toward the left. Maryland went 12.4 to the left. Massachusetts, almost no change there. It's a blue state, but it only went 0.7% toward Barack Obama and the Democrats. I find that to be one of the more interesting shifts out of all of these states. Next, in Michigan, another double-digit shift, 13% toward the Democrats. Minnesota, 6.8 toward the Democrats. Mississippi, same direction, 6.4. Missouri, same direction by 7%. Montana, huge shift there, 18.1 toward the Democrats. Nebraska, also huge, 18.3. Nevada was a little bit less than that, but still a big shift, 15.1. New Hampshire, 8.4. New Jersey, 8.8 toward the Democrats. In New Mexico, another big shift, 15.8 toward the Democrats. New York at 8.6 points, more friendly toward the left. North Carolina, a big 12.7% shift there. North Dakota went even farther than that, 18.7 toward the Democrats. Ohio, 6.7 toward the Democrats. Oklahoma almost broke completely even, 0.1% toward the Republicans. Oregon, 12.2 toward the Democrats. Pennsylvania, 7.8. Rhode Island, 7.1, again toward the Democrats. South Carolina, again, 8.1. South Dakota, 12.9 toward the Democrats. Tennessee, another state that managed to defy the trend, 0.8 toward the Republicans. Next in Texas, we have more shifts toward the Democrats, 11.1. Utah, 17.5. Vermont, 16.9. Virginia, 14.5. Washington, 9.8. West Virginia, that went back slightly toward the Republicans by 0.2%. Wisconsin, big lurch again, 13.5 toward the Democrats. And finally, the last state is Wyoming, and that went 7.5 points toward the Democratic Party. So those are all the states and all of the shifts, and what we can do is take all of that data and apply it to a map to help visualize, and here it is. And as you already knew, there's a lot of dark blue on this map. John McCain, the Republican, managed to improve only in 5 states over George Bush in 2004. 3 of those states were under 1%. And only one of those states was by over 5%. That was in Arkansas, double-digit shift there. That stands out on its own. I really like those kinds of unexpected shifts, just like Massachusetts. Somehow they managed to barely move to the left at all, even though that's one of the bluest states in the country, and almost all the other states went hard to the left. But aside from that, this just tells you the country was in the mood for some real change in 2008. There was no chance John McCain or any other Republican was going to win that election. Of course, John McCain did win a bunch of states in that election, but if you just look at the shifts, this map looks like a complete blowout for the Democrats. Sometimes that's how it goes. Usually you don't see that much shift between 2 elections. But 2008, I think, is the beginning of when we started to see a lot of different realignments in the country. Some of them took a couple more cycles, but no longer were we seeing a red Virginia, red Colorado, and West Virginia was starting to become one of the reddest states in the country. So find any takeaways you'd like from this. I think it's a lot of fun to take a look at the shifts, and this is only from back-to-back elections. This isn't 20 years apart, so I think that does make it especially more notable. The shifts in individual states, they are what they are. This just happened to be a big blue wave. On some previous shifts I've looked at, there's a lot of red on this map, and I'm sure in some upcoming shifts, we'll see a lot of red again. But this is it for 2004 to 8. What do you think about any of the shifts in any of the states? And what do you think about these 2 elections? Let me know down below, and on your way out, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Follow me on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next video.